Welcome to Bacchus&heph, and here is another awesome overview. Prohibition in the United States, often referred to as the Noble Experiment, was a significant period in American history during which the production, importation, transportation, and sale of alcoholic beverages were banned. It lasted from 1920 to 1933 and was mandated by the 18th Amendment to the United States Constitution, accompanied by the Volstead Act, which set down the rules for enforcing the federal ban and defined the types of alcoholic beverages that were prohibited. The roots of prohibition can be traced back to the early 19th century, growing primarily out of a fervent temperance movement that emerged within various segments of American society. Advocates of temperance argued that alcohol was responsible for many societal problems, including crime, disorder, poverty, and the breakdown of family values. Over the decades, several states and localities passed their own temperance laws, but it was not until the early 20th century that the idea gained enough national traction to effect constitutional change. The movement was supported by various groups, including religious organizations, women's groups, such as the Women's Christian Temperance Union, and the Anti-Saloon League. The push for prohibition gained additional momentum during World War I, partly due to anti-German sentiment against brewers, many of whom were of German descent, and partly because of the need to conserve grain for the war effort. The 18th Amendment passed by Congress on December 18, 1917, and ratified by the requisite number of states on January 16, 1919, the 18th Amendment prohibited the manufacture, sale, and transportation of intoxicating liquors. The Volstead Act, passed on October 28, 1919, provided for the enforcement of prohibition. Prohibition officially went into effect on January 17, 1920. The effects of prohibition were complex and far-reaching. On one hand, alcohol consumption initially decreased, and there were reductions in alcohol-related diseases and social issues. On the other hand, prohibition gave rise to widespread illegal activity. Speakeasies, illegal bars, bootlegging, illegal manufacture and sale of alcohol, and organized crime saw a significant increase during this period. Figures such as Al Capone and the Purple Gang, also known as the Sugar House Gang, rose to prominence through their involvement in the alcohol smuggling business. The enforcement of prohibition also proved to be a massive and costly undertaking. Corruption among law enforcement officials became rampant, and the government expended substantial resources attempting to enforce the ban. As the negative impacts of prohibition became increasingly apparent, public opinion began to shift. The onset of the Great Depression further strengthened the case against prohibition, as many argued that legalizing alcohol would create jobs and generate much-needed tax revenue. The 21st Amendment, ratified on December 5, 1933, repealed the 18th Amendment, thus bringing an end to prohibition. It remains the only instance of a constitutional amendment being repealed in its entirety. Prohibition forced brewing companies to adapt or die, and many did. According to Maureen Ogle, author of Ambitious Brew, The Story of American Beer, out of the more than 1,300 brewers in operation in 1915, no more than 100 survived. However, they included some of the most iconic names in brewing, such as Anheuser-Busch, Coors, Miller, Pabst, and Yuengling. On March 26, 1933, President Franklin Roosevelt signed into law the Cullen-Harrison Act, legalizing beer with an alcohol content of 3.2% by weight, and wine of a similarly low alcohol content. Subsequently, on December 5th, ratification of the 21st Amendment repealed the 18th Amendment. However, United States federal law still prohibits the manufacture of distilled spirits without meeting numerous licensing requirements that make it impractical to produce spirits for personal beverage use. legacy prohibition had lasting effects on American society and law. It changed the way people viewed and consumed alcohol, contributed to a substantial growth in organized crime, and influenced the development of law enforcement practices and legal policies. It also provided a clear demonstration of the complexities and potential unintended consequences of legislating moral behavior, a lesson that continues to influence American policy debates to this day. Don't forget to hit the bell for notifications and to like and subscribe to Bacchus&heph. Thanks for watching.